Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Gary Liu, CEO of the South China Morning Post. Thank you to the organizers of Game On for inviting me today. Many of you might be asking, why is a 118-year-old newspaper speaking at a gaming, metaverse, and blockchain conference? That's a great question. Let me give you a short answer first, and then provide texture later. In short, SCMP's transformation from a local print newspaper to the global media company that we are today has required fast adaptation to all means of digital storytelling. And the metaverse is a new canvas that we have chosen to adopt. The reality, of course, is that we can no longer ignore blockchain. The vast potential of decentralized ledgers has started to upend entire industries, and news media can ill afford to be left behind yet again. In our pursuit to better understand and adapt to a future in the metaverse, we're drawing inspiration directly from the gaming industry. Instead of being disintermediated by new technologies, gaming has repeatedly led the development and adoption of new platforms, protocols, and paradigms. And with blockchain, it is once again gaming that has identified the immense opportunities and redefined the concept of investment in and ownership of digital assets. Here's what we have observed. 1. Users are increasingly excited by the possibilities that blockchain gaming provides for community and, dare I say, society building. Because A player's investment in-game can now generate real-world value for both the game developer and the individual. B, ownership of in-game assets and identity are secure, while trade is transparent and safe. C, the value created in one game or universe can now be transferred to infinite other games and universes. And D, the decentralized ledger means that incredibly creative gaming dynamics and intense speed of innovation are now possible. Number 2, this excitement has led to massive amounts of investment. From an institutional funding perspective, blockchain gaming companies attracted nearly $500 million in funding in the first half of 2021. But more impressively, individual investment via NFTs has surged from just $13.7 million in the first half of 2020 to a massive $2.5 billion in the first half of 2021. And in just the month of July, we added another $1.2 billion in trading volume. And 3, the number of unique users in this space continues to skyrocket. In March, there were an estimated 51,000 unique wallets holding blockchain gaming assets. By July, that number was 740,000, a 14.5 times growth in just 4 months. And this is all just getting started, although at breakneck speed. In the coming months, we should expect the invention and adoption of countless new business models, new ecosystems, new mechanics, and a flood of new users. Industry transformations that used to take years now happen in mere weeks, and it's not just in gaming. Gaming is showing the world that authentic and provable scarcity in digital assets can create immense new value, and therefore, the application of NFT technology can and should exist in nearly all industries. That is why a century-old newspaper is here. A newspaper is by definition a centralized ledger of history. Each day, journalists uncover new truths that shape our understanding of the world and record those new truths to a ledger. Our readers around the globe access that ledger to become more informed and better educated about our societies and environments. To inform and to educate, that is our purpose, to help you know and understand the world better. But most of the value of a newsroom's extremely expensive work is expressed contemporaneously, in the same moments, give or take a few hours or days, of a story's publishing. But what about the value of revisiting history, of considering our past, of rediscovering our collective journey to this moment, and of improving and progressing our world by never forgetting the lessons learned along the way? The South China Morning Post has 118 years of archives, a ledger of the historical triumphs, defeats, achievements, mistakes, celebrations, and mournings from across Asia, especially of southern China, including Hong Kong. And we have also preserved the archives of several other newspapers of note, including that of the China Mail, a ledger of history dating back to 1845. Today, much of those archives sit in storage as paper artifacts or microfilm, degrading slowly regardless of how much effort we put into preservation. Even the digitized archives are only available to a select few academics and officials, whose jobs are to improve the world by better understanding the past. But I believe that there is incredible value in those archives for all of us, yet to be expressed because no technology has existed that can preserve immutably, scale infinitely, transact transparently, and value objectively a ledger of history. That is, until now. Blockchain, and specifically NFTs, will help us breathe new life into old things, starting with a humble newspaper's archives. Historical journalism can be a vehicle to connect us with our past and to better understand our present. The blockchain offers us a means to consolidate and secure that history, regardless of where it comes from. And tokenizing history means that each of us can participate in collectively owning our shared experience, regardless of where we come from. What could it mean for us to rediscover, connect, collect, reanimate, and own our history? I want to believe that it would empower us to be more understanding, more accepting, and more concerned about our contributions to a better future. To inform, to educate, and to empower. That's got a nice ring to it. So what exactly is SCMP's plan? First, we will standardize the recording of history on the blockchain. We will achieve this by co-developing a comprehensive metadata structure for historical NFTs, with the help of cross-discipline experts from around the world. Blockchain developers, art curators, historians, journalists, archivists, and researchers are coming together now and setting the standard by which history can be immutably preserved and decentrally owned. This is critically important to help simplify the process of digital preservation, because complexity is frankly one of the great hurdles we must overcome. It will also ensure that all historical accounts and assets can be connected, regardless of where it originates and who presently owns it. This standard will also enable collectors and users to easily discover and engage with recorded history. Details of this metadata standard and the team co-developing it will be announced via our white paper within the next month. This new standard will be known as Artifact and will eventually be governed by a nonprofit foundation. Secondly, the South China Morning Post is going to eat our own dog food and mint a portion of our extensive archives using this new standard. These artifacts by SCMP will open our journalism to decentralized ownership for the first time ever and seed a community and ecosystem built around the preservation of history on blockchain. Our promise is that Artifacts by SCMP will not be reductive. We're focused on building an NFT product about historical discovery, with many experiences, surprises, and moments of delight that our community deserves. We will also work with existing NFT marketplaces to allow artifact trading from day one, enabling users to begin assembling their own historical collections. The first drop for Artifacts by SCMP will be sometime in Q4. Third, to serve a growing community of new NFT owners and issuers, we're building a new marketplace for the sale and trade of historical NFTs. We expect millions of people to own artifacts. In 2019, there were 40 million unique transactions in the global art market, and that is merely a slice of the historical assets that will be preserved immutably on the blockchain. Artifacts will onboard many users to blockchain for the first time, whether because of philosophy, personal interest, curiosity, nostalgia, academic research, or even speculation. And a dedicated marketplace will best serve their education and ownership needs, including placing each NFT within the necessary historical context to best understand its significance and value. In addition, this marketplace will serve the unique needs of artifact issuers, institutions, and individuals around the world who are the present guardians of historical accounts and assets. Many bridges must be built to transition archives, physical or digital, onto the blockchain. And the complexity of these assets and the needs of their owners far exceeds that of today's NFT baseline. Both the artifact standard and specialized marketplace will serve as the most direct path between old and new. So very soon, you will be able to own a historically significant piece of SCMP's 118-year-old archive as an NFT. You'll realize its value through both learning and trading, and then connect it to other artifacts via a metadata standard developed by global experts expressly to preserve our collective human history on the blockchain. And the dollars spent to own and collect artifacts by SCMP will be used to sustain objective and independent journalism, our soon-to-be decentralized first draft of history. Last, but certainly not least, We are very excited about SCMP's partnership with The Sandbox that we jointly announced in July. For those of you unfamiliar, The Sandbox is a leading blockchain-based virtual world where players can build, own, and monetize their gaming. SCMP has already started building metaverse experiences in The Sandbox across a specific and large block of virtual land that we are dedicating to the discovery of present-day and historical China, starting with our home city of Hong Kong. We believe that this canvas gives new meaning to journalism's purpose of informing and educating by bringing historical experiences to life. Within SCMP's archives is an extensive library of world-renowned and award-winning photography, visual illustrations, data visualizations, and infographics that cover more than 100 years of Hong Kong and mainland China's history. This visual library and the associated journalism that I've already spoken so much about will be used to recreate moments in history for users to experience and to learn from. Hong Kong is a city of great historical significance, and it is a uniquely visual metropolis. To understand this place, you must sail into Victoria Harbour, climb to the summit of Lions Rock, stand dwarfed by the world's most imposing skyline, rest on its many sun-soaked beaches, get lost along its 400 miles of hiking trails, and allow yourself to be romanced by the city's diverse and distinctly unique neighborhoods. And that's just the city today. Hong Kong has also served as the main stage for some of world history's most crucial events and is home of some of its most colorful characters. It has transformed many times, from a sleepy fishing village to an annexed prize of war, to a global trade port, a base for revolution and manufacturing powerhouse, a global financial center, to eventually becoming the world's most expensive property market, one of its most complicated political hotbeds, and still one of its greatest cities. Hong Kong has also been the backdrop for so many captivating stories. From James Clavell's Taipan, to Richard Mason's The World of Susie Wong, to Robert Ludlum's The Bourne Supremacy. And speaking of movies, this city has lent its ever-evolving shape to Bloodsport, Rush Hour, The Dark Knight, Fast and Furious, Pacific Rim, Doctor Strange, Skyscraper, and seemingly every other James Bond film. When recreated in the metaverse, Hong Kong has no shortage of stories to tell and moments in history to revisit. I want to walk through the Kowloon Walled City, a block of 500 buildings crammed into just 2.7 hectares with over 50,000 residents. It was for a time the densest place on earth, known for its opium parlors and gambling dens. Police feared it, and even tax collectors avoided it. It served as the opening for the aforementioned Bloodsport and the inspiration for Christopher Nolan's Gotham. But since its demolition in 1994, the place known as the City of Darkness lives on only in photos, videos, and stories. But it can rise again in the metaverse. I want to explore Hong Kong's Central District in the 70s and the 80s as it crawled out of a colonial past into a jungle of glass and steel. I want to ask locals how they felt about Hong Kongers taking control of British conglomerates that had kept a largely segregated order in the city for over a century. I want to watch as a declaration was signed to hand Hong Kong back to China after 156 years, and to feel the angst of a population split between excitement and trepidation. That is all possible in the metaverse. Our partnership with The Sandbox enables these unique experiences and many more built from SCMP's contemporaneous reporting and artifacts, and ensures that these moments will remain immutable and available to the entire world. While gaming continues to drive innovation for NFTs in the metaverse, its application across other industries is inevitable. History might be vast, diverse, and fragmented, and its preservation complicated, but its protection is invaluable. Guardians of history are always searching for new means to connect and share its lessons, and we believe that blockchain has handed us new tools that cannot be ignored. With the Artifact Project, we will see news publishers, museums, art galleries, and national archives leading into this new world instead of waiting on its outskirts. I look forward to sharing with you the history contained in our newspaper's archives, as well as innumerable other artifacts that will change how we understand and treasure our world. I hope that you are as excited as I am about all of the possibilities. Thank you.
The Sandbox is a virtual 3D gaming world made by players. In the Sandbox, you can play tons of cool games. Or make your own game using the Sandbox Game Maker. No coding required. You can use the intuitive voxel editor to build game assets, create animated characters, and game elements. As a creator, you have full digital ownership over the content you create. Sell your creations in the Sandbox Marketplace. The Sandbox. Play, create, own.